A new Whitebeard Pirates leader was announced for ST-22, being Ace and Whitebeard, all on one leader. We've seen this with Blue-Green Sanji Zoro, which is a super cool different style, and I really enjoy this, but usually it's on dual color leader. With this leader and this video today, we will be predicting everything to come out in ST-22 using my knowledge of the game. As you've seen, I do so many deck profiles on the channel, so I think I can really tell you what's going to be printed for the new support for Blue Whitebeard Pirates. To start off though, of course, we need to get into the actual leader ability, which is this new character right here. It is mono blue, 5 life, 5,000 power, per usual for a 5 life leader. Activate main once per turn. You may reveal one Whitebeard Pirates type card from your hand, draw one, and put the revealed card on top of your deck. If you're a good player, this kind of sounds mid. Like, Marco is just such a better leader, being red-blue, getting a dual color pool, and giving minus 2,000 power to a character while also doing this exact same effect, and being able to bottom deck it, and you don't have to reveal anything at all. To put it lightly, this leader kind of just sounds mid, and I see why everyone's saying that. When we get down here to the comments, well, that's anticlimactic. Hopefully the deck has a decent cards for Ace and Marco at least. And honestly, the Ace, it won't help at all, because unless you're going blue-yellow Ace, and Marco I can see why, because it's red-blue. At least that does make sense. Here's that conversation about this is a dual color leader, or dual leader, but it's a mono color, which is very different than usual. This person right here just said, so Marco, but worse. We don't know the support yet, and we'll find it out in today's video. Just keep in mind, this is all speculation based off statistics and other decks that the One Piece card game has printed, and the deck it's about to be based off of is very interesting. It's an OP11 deck. I'll give you about 5 seconds here to guess what it is. Purple Katakuri. To start off, obviously, if you look up Purple Katakuri, my video comes up very soon, so you definitely need to watch that full deck profile right there. Secondly, when we actually look at this leader's effect, it is when attacking, when opponent attacks, once per turn, Dawn -1, look at the top card of your opponent's deck. This leader give this leader plus 1,000 power for the battle. Now, you may be thinking, how does this look anything like our new leader? How does that work with this? How do these make any sense of being similar? Well, when we look in the new OP11 set, which we need to break down, you'll see a lot of similarities here with the OP11 cards, and we'll get into that in just a second. What we need to do first is get to the actual card pool of purple. So we filter through a little bit, and we'll see why this is so dynamic and so different for this leader and what they're trying to do. This is a little spoiler here, but this 8-drop Katakuri is going to be very important in just a moment, guys. I promise you'll be very surprised. This is the card we're talking about right here, the Purple Pero Sparrow. And why this card is so dynamic in this deck, you'll see in just a moment. Activate main once per turn. You may trash one card from your hand, choose a cost, and reveal the top card of your opponent's deck. If the revealed cost is the chosen character is correct, draw one and add one Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. So it's a 5-cost 7K, which is something we're starting to see a lot in the One Piece card game. Very strong 5-cost 7Ks that are very dynamic for their color and will be used in many other decks. But with this deck specifically, I have a prediction that they will print a 5-cost 7K with a similar effect to the Pero Sparrow. When we go back to this Pero Sparrow, again, it looks at you trash one card from your hand, choose a cost, and reveal the top card of your opponent's deck. So this is going to be very similar when we use this new effect, looking at the top of our deck. Our own deck in this situation, where we get to say reveal a Whitebeard Pirates type character and then X other effect. Now we have to take into account a blue strong effect that would go with this leader specifically and be a lot more linked to the Whitebeard Pirates. I want to go ahead and say this, but I think this deck is going to be more of a B tier deck, maybe a rogue tier deck at best, but I just want to say that now as we do dive deeper into what this card pool will be. So when we go back to comparing to this 5-cost 7K, we will have a 5-cost 7K in this deck as a 2 of. So you will need to pick up 2 of the starter decks. I'm assuming, again, remember this is all speculation. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it is Whitebeard Pirates type, do X effect. X effect is going to be very strong. It could be draw 2 cards, trash 1. It could just be draw 2 cards. Again, I think it's going to be a little more anticlimactic because it's more specific to the deck than you would think. Unlike the Tashigi we just went over. When you look at this Tashigi, it just has Banish, and then activate main, set one of your Dawn as active, and then you can't set any other Dawn as active from character effect. Being a very strong card, being a 5/7 with Banish, and it's an SR. I predict the SR will happen in this deck. The first SR, because usually you get 2 in a starter deck, will be a 2 of 5/7 that reveals the top card of your deck as a Whitebeard Pirates type, which you can also run in Marco, making it really work for the Whitebeard Pirates. I believe the effect will have a draw 2, trash 1 kind of effect, or something you can do every single turn as an activate main, and it will be very strong. Being able to draw 2, trash 1 every turn would be crazy. If you could filter like that, it's almost a Nami card if it wasn't Whitebeard Pirates lock. That is just so oppressive, having such a large hand size, especially the blue card pool where you can play into Gravity Blades, your move board, and then continue to counter out aggressively. They could pseudo lock it a little more and maybe do something else. Maybe they could have a cheap bottom deck something, maybe bottom deck a 4 cost, or bounce a character, something that really helps with board removal and keeping you stabilized in the gameplay. That could be another option rather than a draw 2 trash one. Now, to continue to compare it to the purple deck card pool, I think blue needs a strong 8 cost blocker. Right now, the only one we have is Aramaki, and it's not good at all. To give you the idea of what we're talking about, it is this 8 cost 8k Aramaki blocker. Activate main once per turn, you may trash 1 card from your hand, place 1 character with cost 2 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. This character gains plus 3,000 during this turn, which is alright, but it really just doesn't do much unless you bottom deck your own 2 cost, and there's not much you can do there. So this Aramaki is not good enough, and I think they have to print something newer that fits that 8 cost 8k blocker card pool. When you jump into this category, it's a blocker, and then end of your turn, set up to 2 of your Big Mom Pirates type characters with a cost 3 or more as active, then add 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and it's rested. So this is going to have a similar effect in its own way for blue card pool. Obviously this is purple right here, but there's going to be a big difference. There has to be something that fits the blue stereotype and the Whitebeard Pirates type. It could give something rush, it could have pseudo rush because we've seen that come out a lot with the new red card pool. You even see it with this Kobe and all the new support that you get with Kobe, giving pseudo rush to characters or swinging into active characters. I think pseudo rush will definitely be an ability because, as you see, this allows sword type characters to attack characters on the turn they are played, and I think we'll get a similar effect with the blue characters. And you see the same thing in the green card pool with the new Jinbei 6 cost, if we can find it right here, giving green pseudo rush, which I think is going to be very strong, but it is really type locked, so it would be a Whitebeard Pirate type locked character. Giving pseudo rush in a blue deck though would be very strong for the current format, and it would really outdo Doflamingo. They're trying to find something to outpace that deck, and I think it at least gives the support as a possibility, and you can play it into your red decks to give pseudo rush to other Whitebeard Pirate type characters, with also having the ability to use the 9 cost Sanji. Obviously, the 9 cost Sanji, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck and play up to 1 character with a cost 9 or less other than Sanji, and then place the rest at the bottom of the deck. This card will also be a staple in the deck. Obviously, it won't actually come in the starter deck because that would be ridiculous. It makes no sense. It doesn't character fit any of the characters. It's not Whitebeard Pirate type or anything like that, but this will be probably the 1 card you play that's not Whitebeard Pirates type, other than maybe Gravity Blade or a Red Rock. Because you can play this into the new 8 cost blocker that we will see and the other strong blue card pool. Another thing we really need to see for this deck to be any good is going to be a good 2k counter, because Whitebeard Pirates really don't have much in the 2k counter pool in the blue card pool that I think is any good. If we just sit here and go through the 2k counters, is there anything even Whitebeard Pirates related? Go through really quickly and you don't see much. Right here you have King Du. You may reveal 2 cards with Whitebeard Pirates type. This will probably be reprinted in that deck but not be the 2k counter of choice. This character gains plus 2,000 until the end of the turn. That's not really good in a deck that's really specific to the Whitebeard Pirates type, and the Whitebeard Pirates card pool in general is not that good for blue. When we sit here and look through the deck, this 10 cost will definitely be playable in the Whitebeard Pirates type decks, but there's not much that I would say is any good for blue Whitebeard. So you're going to see Jozu definitely used. I think Jozu is going to be a very strong contender in this deck, possibly even reprinted in the deck as a 2 of, being a very strong 6-drop 7k that bounces one of your own characters to bounce one of your opponent's 6 cost, meaning that we need a good 1 cost 2k counter. That would be my main prediction, because I think you need something small that's similar to a buggy effect in the Doflamingo deck that just looks at the top 3 cards, stacks them in any order, a 2k counter that's very generic and can be used in many other decks, but I think they need a good one for just the Whitebeard Pirates specifically. You do have good cards obviously already, like the blocker, the 3 cost blocker. I mean, that's okay, but I wouldn't say it's good. You have the Ace, which is going to be very pivotal for this deck, being a 5/6 that draws 2 and then puts 2 cards from your deck to the top of your deck. So I think there will be more effects that do control the top of your deck, and it's going to be based off spitting out bodies. They may even just try to outpace this Katakuri and others and just take out the Sanji altogether. It may be an 8-drop 8k Whitebeard blocker that says reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a 5 cost or lower Whitebeard Pirates type, play it out as active, giving you the effects of the other character and this at the same time. But it would be an on play and not an activate main. It could be an end of your turn kind of thing of setting 2 of your characters as active, because you do play a lot of blockers, as you just saw in the One Piece card pool that we do have right now for Whitebeard. You have the Ace blocker, the Marco blocker, and I'm sure they'll print another one because there's so many Whitebeard Pirate blockers. Now, one of the decks I think people are saying it will support the most is actually going to be Marco, and I 100% agree with this. I think Marco is going to become a rogue or A tier list deck after this support, because if we do get a strong 5 cost that we can cheat out, or 8 cost that can reveal the top card of our deck and cheat out other characters, we can play on 9 rather than the Sanji we have to play on 10 to use our leader effect to stack the top of the deck. I think this is going to be very good because you can cheat out this Ace, you can cheat out, Marcos, which KO characters. There's going to be so much potential with this deck depending on what they do. You could even cheat out Izo, giving you a -2k when you discard 1 card to when your opponent attack, and attach Arrested Dawn to your leader. This will definitely be a playable card now, finally, which I definitely have seen this card being playable for the green or red-green Odin leader, which is honestly kind of a rogue tier deck right now in the Eastern meta. Obviously we have amazing Marco blockers and such. I think the card pool in red is just so much stronger already that the blue just won't be able to keep up with the red-blue card pool. Obviously, the support won't affect Ace or anyone like people on Reddit were saying, because they didn't think about, if it's mono blue, you're not getting support for red. That just doesn't make sense. That does zero sense right there. Now, if it would have been like red blue or something like that, it would make sense. But for this, no, that's not going to happen. Again, just remember this is speculation based off what we know about the One Piece card game. So when we take into account other leaders that have been printed at 5 Life 5k and they keep printing cards like this, I think that's going to be the big game changer here. Because you never know. You never know what they're going to put in a starter deck. You never thought Uso Hachi was going to be an $8 card nowadays. At the end of the day, you'll have to let me know in the comments what you think they'll print for this leader. I think it's going to be something that allows you to play characters from the top of your deck like Doflamingo, and I think it's going to be a strong contender, but it's very type locked, meaning they can't make strong blue, whitebeard, pirates type characters. I think it will be an 8 cost blocker that checks the top of your deck and plays out a 6 cost or lower, which maybe that's the route they go. They give us a good 6 drop 7k, as we already have Jozu, so maybe they don't do that as well. You never really know. Jozu's a little more situational in a deck like this, but it's going to be very strong in the current format. I'm going to look through these comments one more time just to see if anybody has any actual good thoughts, but Marco but no Sanji Rayleigh combo, this could be the second Whitebeard themed deck that gives more support to Marco than itself. I definitely agree with that because we saw that in the last Edward Newgate deck. It gave so much more to Marco with that 7-drop Newgate, so we'll have to just see right there. Someone said, I kind of dig it. With previous support in 08, such as Jill, you can proc the rush easily now, and chaining with 5 cost Ace. Personally, it's easier than Marco, but nothing extravagant. That's until they reveal more cards. So far, liking the thought of the lead. That's interesting. Again, a lot of people, as you can see, are hating on this leader, so who really knows what they're going to do here? It's all, again, speculation. I'm trying to deck build what I think the game will be going forward. I think there will be a 4 cost 5k blocker. I think there will be a strong 5/7 in the deck, and I think there will be an 8k blocker. I think it could be based on blockers and cheating out bodies, because that's kind of what we've seen with Whitebeard Pirates already, when we already have 2 Marcos, one being a very strong blocker. We already have a strong blue blocker, so I could easily see them printing. Maybe they just reprint the 3 cost blocker in this deck profile, and they call it a day there. They may not even go with the 8 cost 8k power. They may just go an 8 costs 8k power that does cheat out from the top of the deck, or something like that. There's going to be something in here that's going to be very strong, and I think people aren't noticing it. The ability to cheat out characters from the top of deck. It's something we've already seen with Doflamingo, and being more type locked is a good reason to ban Doflamingo now, but we don't get the ban list for another 2 days here in the West and East, I guess, because we both get it at the same time. So I think if we keep track of everything, you might want to come back to this video when this leader gets announced and see if I did good, because this is one you need to save for later, because if I called this right, you owe me a like and a subscription. So anyways, that's going to be it for breaking down this brand new leader. Let me know in the comments below what you actually think of this leader, what kind of stuff you think will be printed for this leader. There's so many different things we can see. I'm not going to sit here and say I nailed everything, but I definitely can see where stuff would happen, especially given how much power creep is already happening in the current format. I think you need to print some strong cards for blue nowadays, especially if the ban does hit Doflamingo pretty strong, because we're losing our blue card pool. The purple card pool right now in the East is destroying, so if we don't see Gum Gum Giant go, that deck list is just going to keep going crazy with the blue purple. So I think just having a strong mono leader, because everything's dual leader right now in the format, I think this would be a great contender for a rogue strategy that just cheats out a lot of bodies from the top of the deck and calls it a day there. Being a 5 life leader, obviously you have so many resources, and I don't know. I feel like I'm just yapping and saying the same things over and over again at this point because I'm kind of hyped for this leader. I'm really excited. But anyways, we'll actually end off the video this time. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts on this new leader are down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.